I was very concerned a king was trying to take my place. But thanks to your tireless efforts, I am still your president. So I'm pretty sure by now you guys have heard about the two state lawmakers that were targeted and attacked, one losing her life and the other being hospitalized. No thanks to the mainstream media. But by now, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about it. Now, the interesting thing about this entire situation that I've been noticing is that the fact that two state lawmakers were attacked by someone impersonating a police officer that used to work for Tim Walz. Why isn't this the biggest news in the news cycle right now? Why isn't everyone talking about this? If this were, let's say that there were let's say that Trump and Vance lost the election. And let's say that a campaign aide or some worker that, worked for JD Vance targeted two Republicans that were, going against the Republican agenda, and one of them loses their life and the other is hospitalized. That would be the story of the century. They would be talking about that forever, right? But when you go over to YouTube and you type in Melissa Hortman, right? You don't even get the biggest news stations. Like CNN doesn't come up first. CNN, MSNBC, none of the major news outlets that actually cover this type of stuff even comes up. Like when I'm looking at this, you got 9 News, which I think is local, if I'm not mistaken. Then you've got Alec Lace, right? Obviously, I guess a content creator. Then you've got 13 WMAZ, which I think is also local. Then you've got WCCO. Let's see, which, that's CBS Minnesota. Like, it seems like the only people that are really covering this is the local Minnesota news. Now, when you come down, finally, you've got MSNBC. Then below that, you have KSTP5 Eyewitness News. Like, where is CNN? KARE 11. WKYC Channel 3. Like, does that make any sense? But let's check out what they had to say with 9 News, which is the first one that pops up.
Police are searching for the person who shot 2 Minnesota state lawmakers. Right now, we're getting an update from the Attorney General, Governor Tim Walz, and police. Let's listen in.
Wells, the mayor of Brooklyn Park. We're here today because an unspeakable tragedy has unfolded in Minnesota. My good friend and colleague, Speaker Melissa and her husband Mark, were shot and killed early this morning in what appears to be a politically motivated assassination. Our state lost a great leader, and I lost a dearest of friends. Speaker Hortman was someone who served the people of Minnesota with grace, compassion, humor, and a sense of service. She was a formidable public servant, a fixture and a giant in Minnesota. She woke up every day determined to make this state a better place. She is irreplaceable, and we've been missed by so many. Minnesota's thoughts and prayers are with her family, her loved ones, her children, and her parents. My prayers also go out to State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette, who were each shot multiple times. The Hoffmans are out of surgery at this time and receiving care, and we are cautiously optimistic they will survive this assassination attempt. This was an act of targeted political violence. Peaceful discourse is the foundation of our democracy. We don't settle our differences with violence or at gunpoint. In the state of Minnesota, and as recently as last week, in the most closely divided state legislature in the country, we sat down, we worked things out, we debated, we shook hands and compromised, and we served the state of Minnesota together. We proved that it's possible, even in these politically charged times, to find compromise and adhere to the principles of democracy and civil discourse.
Well, we all know that's a crock of shit. If you really sit back and you look at it, who is really charging up America for political violence and you know, instead of civil discourse? Like, who's really doing that? It's because it's not MAGA. It's not the right. It's not conservatives. I mean, for the love of God, we had to endure 4 years of a potato and cackles Kamala. Nobody was protesting. Nobody was burning any cars. Nobody was burning any buildings. Nobody was doing any of that. But now all of a sudden, Trump wins in a freaking landslide. He wins the electoral college. He wins the popular vote. We got the House and the Senate, and the left just throws a tantrum. This no kings protest, more like riot, right? But at the end of the day, like, you didn't have to have a protest for us to find out that we don't have a king in America. We already know that. In fact, this is what Donald Trump had to say about it. So Donald Trump took to Truth Social in order to show support for all of these patriotic Americans that decided to exercise their right to protest, you know, peacefully protest. He said a huge thank you to all the No Kings protesters yesterday. I was very concerned a king was trying to take my place, but thanks to your tireless efforts, I am still your president. Great job, all. Bro, at this point, just give it up. Just give it up. Like, I don't care what nobody says, bro. We have never had a president like this. This is truly our first American president, in my opinion. This is the first president to actually act like one of us. You feel what I'm saying? Because this is an epic troll. I don't care what nobody say. I do not care what nobody has to say. This is freaking hilarious. In other news, everybody's mad at Trump again. I know what else is new, right? But this time they're mad at him for having a military parade, a very patriotic military parade. And surprisingly, Fetterman, of all people, decides to defend Trump and this military parade. Check this out.
Somebody who seems to be absolutely on the outs with his own party, Senator John Fetterman, facing backlash yet again from the Democrats for supporting Trump's military parade on Saturday, posting the following on X. This parade is comprised of our sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers, the very best of us. Regardless of your politics, it's appropriate to celebrate the 250 years of sacrifice, dedication, and service. But that wasn't good enough for the left. A Philadelphia progressive group leader calling out Fetterman at a No Kings protest over the weekend, saying the following: "We are looking to the leaders who will fight for us because even today there are folks among the Democrat Party who think we should roll over and play dead." Anyone seen John Fetterman here? Look, this parade was patriotism, not politics. Why can't the progressive left acknowledge and honor the parade, honor our sacrifices of our brave men and women in the military who ultimately fought for that right to do what they did over this weekend, which is those No Kings protests? It doesn't make sense to her.
So it's real simple. The reason why the Democrats are against this military parade is for the same reason that they're charging up American citizens and illegal migrants to behave the way they're behaving in these protests. It's because they're not patriotic. It's because they don't really love this country. Like, why would you have a problem with a military parade that is celebrating these servicemen that make it literally make it possible for you to be able to protest, for you to be able to do all of the things that you're doing? See, in this country, it's getting to the point where people's patriotism and love of country really needs to be questioned. I get that we live in a free country and all of that, but I mean, everything has its limits. The fact that you have individuals in this country that are actively against the current administration to the degree that they are starting riots, burning cities, and all types of foolishness like that, openly, calling for the destruction of one of the parties. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, and at some point, it's gonna have to be called out for what it is. I mean, you just had 2 Democrat lawmakers lose their lives, and I don't think enough importance is being put on that particular situation. But you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments section. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at you guys later. Deuces.